YouTube Nation, Main Event TV, aka me TV, aka it was a great weekend for sports, aka it's getting ready to snow out here today. I got my Union scarf on, man, I'm ready, all right? I'm just ready. But we're going to get into it today with hockey, basketball, and football. We're going to start off by talking about basketball. All right, for those who saw the game, all right, we're going to talk Lakers-Celtics first. And Lakers fans, I understand Lord Kobe Bryant could not beat the Lakers by himself. I've been seeing so many comments towards Kobe. Well, he didn't have any assists, this, that, and third. Look, his teammates can't score. They're not playing with the same heart he's playing. He had 41 points last night, and he still couldn't win. What else do you want this man to do? Your team needs to step their game up, all right? Every time they go up against a big team, they lose, all right? And we saw it even in the finals. Last year, you guys had to come back from, 2 down? Look, you got to play with heart all the time. Lakers, I'm telling you, Lakers fans, you know what I'm talking about. This is not on Kobe's shoulders. I wouldn't even jump on Phil Jackson right now. It's the rest of the team that just standing around. And what the hell is Luke Walton doing on the court anyway? How is anybody still had this guy on their team? But you know what? It doesn't matter. Don't matter. Let's just move on. We got the Miami Heat versus the Thunder. Now, for those who saw what happened, all right, we all know the big fallout. Miami, look, let's just start right now. LeBron, I said this on my Facebook. LeBron is not a lockdown defender. He's not. All right, so for everyone who wants him to be all defensive team, what has he done? Who does he stop from getting their average every game? Does he force anybody to take, does he make anybody take any forced shots? No. Like I said, and I'm talking about, like I said, not on the bench, but when he's on there playing other players. He's not a lockdown defender. Last year, all his blocks came from what? From behind when people were trying to lay the ball when they thought they were safe, and he'd come and swat the ball. He's not a lockdown defender, guys. But to be fair to LeBron, he's done more offensively this year than he has last year, all right? Or even this year offensively compared to defense, okay? Because for those who saw the end of the game, before that, you know what? Let me ask you this. Where was that lockdown defense when Durant drained that J in his face? I'm just saying, for the last couple seconds of the game, where was he at? Exactly. This is what I'm talking about, guys. He's not a lockdown defender, but he made the right decision at the end of the game. Instead of taking a shot, because he had a long look at that basket, all right? When the game was on the line, he had a long look. What do you do? Pass it to Eddie House. I'd have passed to Eddie House, too, because people should know by now not to leave Eddie House wide open. He's going to knock that down. LeBron did the right thing by passing it off. All right, he had 13 assists yesterday. All right, but as we all know, you take the good with the bad. When they first started, he had like 12 turnovers, every game? Like in the beginning of the year. All right, it's going to take a while for the Heat to mesh, but I don't see the Heat winning it all this year. However, anyone saw what happened with Chris Bosh and Durant when they were sitting there? Durant was minding his business. Chris Bosh came over to him and started jawing at him, and Durant got in his face about it. They both got double texts, and then they asked afterwards at the game what happened. Durant says, you know, I'm usually a quiet dude. I'm a cool dude. I don't talk about anybody. I don't mess with anybody. And Bosh, Spice, decided, hey, I'm just going to run my mouth. When he knows that Durant is the main guy on that team and Bosh is the third wheel. All right? And Bosh got in his face. So Durant pretty much said that Bosh is a fake tough guy. When they asked Bosh, tell you now, when they asked Bosh, his response was to what Durant said. Bosh said, I respect the guy. What? You respect the guy? Wait a minute. He just called you out your name. And this reminds me almost of the Beanie Siegel Kanye thing. When Beanie called him gay and a bitch and this, that, and third. And Kanye was like, I respect this gangster. Like, you can't do that. If someone calls you out your name, you don't respect them. You just don't. And you know what? And people on the Facebook said it best, you know, the defense these days in the NBA is just not the same. All right? It's pathetic. You get called fouls and it's horrible. And I have to agree. All right? It's become an entertainment league more than about competition. David Stern, you on the clock. I've been calling for your name to be out of here for a while now. All right? But let's just move on. Let's move on. Hockey. Let's move on. For those who saw the All Star weekend for hockey, skills competition was amazing. Chara once again sets a record at a hardest slap shot at 105.9 miles an hour. I don't want to stand in front of that. I used to play goalie. I would not want to stand in front of that. But the fact is, guys, these guys put on a show. So for anybody who saw the skills competition, by all means, if you haven't seen it, watch it. All right? You think you want to be a hockey player, huh? Watch the skills competition and tell me if you got what it takes. That's all I'm going to say. The game itself was just a joke. It's the All-Star game. You can't expect much. There was no hitting. There was no physical play, really. It didn't get good till about 8 minutes into the third period. But as far as I'm concerned, This game was a joke. I mean, the goalies weren't even trying. It was 4-4 in the first period. Like, what the like, it was just bad, all right? But I like what they did in the beginning on Friday when they had their draft, because it wasn't just East versus West, or like in football, NFC versus AFC. You had two captains, and they picked from, it didn't matter what team, what side, it did not matter. And anybody who saw Patrick Kane, it was hilarious, because Danny Briere went first over over Thames. And Thames looked at Kane like, you motherfucker, I'm going to kick your... Like, he had the stare of death on him. It was hilarious. But then later, Thames got picked, so it didn't matter. But the fact is, guys, Sharp won, was an MVP. He had 1 goal, 2 assists. Personally, I don't think that was enough, but hey, I'm not complaining. It's an all-star game, all right? He won a car or whatever, and he raised some money for, for Huggies, for the kids. So, have no problem with that. All-star game, you did a great thing this week. I'm just saying, this weekend was a great thing for NHL, all right? For those who didn't get a chance to see it, please watch it. It was amazing. Now, let's get back on the football real quick. I got some quick Eagles news. For those who didn't know, I've been talking to some people yesterday about it. The Eagles have come out and said that they're going to franchise Michael Vick and that they're entertaining trade offers for Kevin Cole. So I'm just letting you guys know that now. And some of you guys that said earlier in the year, I just want to say, because the media here has been talking about it a lot now. All right. Some of you guys have said earlier, what do you think about Albert Haynesworth? Look, and I said, I don't know. He could work, but he could not. Well, it does seem that the media is trying to pipe up Albert Haynesworth coming to Philadelphia. I'm just saying. All right. I don't know how I feel about that yet, but we'll see what happens in the future. Okay. Now, let's get to the NFL Pro Bowl. Blowout. All right. Look, and everyone's been complaining because I had said earlier, oh, it looks like the AFC just didn't show up. And then later in the game, looks like they all of a sudden decide want to play. Peyton Manning versus Bill Belichick. I'm saying this now, guys, because Peyton Manning, if anybody watched the game, the commentators were like, yo, Peyton Manning is 2 plays away from starting to call his own plays. Now, we know that shit ain't going to fly with Bill Belichick. All right? Peyton Manning threw threw an interception. He was getting all huffy and puffy. What happened? Benched. He got benched, and they put back in Phillip Rivers because he's the one who actually tried to play. Yeah, that's what happened. All right? So I'm not surprised to see Peyton Manning try to pull this shit that he does in Indianapolis, and Bill Belichick's like, nah, it don't fly here. It's not flying here. That's how I say it. And a lot of it wasn't Peyton's fault either, because a lot of receivers were dropping passes left and right. That guy from Denver, oh, God, I don't even know how he made the Pro Bowl. I don't even know. He just dropped passes left and right. Wide open passes in the end zone, wide open, just dropped them. It just wasn't his day, I guess. But the fact is, I've been seeing a lot of people say, you know what, this is horrible. The Pro Bowl's a joke now, this, that, and third. The Pro Bowl's been a joke for the last couple years now. You have to understand, these new school guys do not take this seriously. You have to understand that. Deshaun Jackson decides, oh, all of a sudden my knee is hurt and I don't want to play. Look, guys, he wasn't hurt. Anyone who saw the practices, on NFL Network? They were light practices. They weren't running hard. They weren't doing shit. There's no way he tweaked his knee. All right? He just didn't want to play. Just like everyone else who just opted out. That's all it was. All right? Look, guys, you have to understand that the old school football players, and y'all know what I'm talking about, when it came to the Pro Bowl, it was the show off, look, I belong here. That's what it was about. These new guys decide, hey, I'm just not going to show up. I'm here. That's it. I'm just going to take the week vacation to Hawaii and call it a day. That's what it is. And their families. That's what it is. That's what the Pro Bowl is to them now. And people keep saying, how can we clean up the Pro Bowl? Look, the Pro Bowl is the last thing that needs to be cleaned up in the NFL or in sports in general. If anything needs to be cleaned up first, it's the NBA. Then you can worry about the Pro Bowl. All right? But the fact is, guys, it doesn't look well for Pro Bowl for the future. All right? It really does. And the same thing is starting to happen, as like I just said, with the NBA, with their All-Star games, because the three-point shot is still great. The skills competitions are good, but the slam dunk contest, as we all know, is kind of lacking. And we all look forward to it, but it's kind of lacking. I'm just saying. Anyways, it was a good weekend. Just watch it for what it was. I don't know, guys. Next week's going to be good. We're going to talk more basketball, guys, because you know what? Since pretty much the NFL and Super Bowl. Don't think I'm not going to talk about the Super Bowl. Come on now. But fact is, guys, we'll get on that next week. I'll talk to y'all later. Get back to me on this. Let me know what y'all think. All right? I'll talk to y'all then. I'm out. Be safe.